and you should get a message in a moment coming up saying that this is being recorded. There we go. There we go. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. It's lovely to be here again, and I'm very happy to be joined today by Trudy Morgan and Helen Wild from the Glut1 Deficiency charity. And I'm going to start by asking both of them to tell us a little bit about what on earth is Glut1 Deficiency and a bit about themselves and how we came to be here. So, Trudy, shall we start with you?
Yes, hi everybody. My name's Trudy. I'm the European Outreach Director for the Glut1 Deficiency Foundation, and I'm also chair of Glut1 Deficiency UK, who we're speaking about today. My daughter, more importantly, has Glut1 deficiency. She's 26 years of age. Glut1 deficiency is a rare metabolic condition whereby glucose is unable to transport to the brain effectively, causing myriad of symptoms, including seizures, complex movement condition, also learning difficulties, as well as speech and language problems.
Wow. So a whole host of issues that you have to deal with. And Helen, what about you? What's your background and how did you come to be here?
So I'm Helen Wild. I'm mum to William, who's 14 now, and we all got together really through another organisation called Matthew's Friends, who are a charity that support families on the ketogenic diet. And we all met at various social meetups, which was lovely because then we kind of formed our own group, and that's really how the charity was born. You know, it was very evident that we needed a UK-based charity.
So there is a European organisation for Glut1 deficiency already?
Not such. There are different European organisations. I think Trudy's better at explaining that than me, but there is also a large there's the Glut1 Foundation, which is a huge charity in the United States, and then there are other associations within Europe as well. Trudy, I'll hand back to you because you know more detail about that. Because
you said it wonderfully, Helen. Yes, we've got the Glut1 Deficiency Foundation in the States that do support us all. And we've also then got individual countries that have obviously set up their own organisations. But we really felt in the UK we needed to support. We've a small amount of diagnosed patients in the UK, estimated around 100 patients. But
this is an ultra rare disorder.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And so because of that, there's still a prevalence of 1 in 24,000 patients. So at the end of the day, there's many patients out there that haven't been diagnosed. So it was really keen for us to be able to spread awareness around Glut1 deficiency, but also connect our families that are already there, because we've all felt very isolated. Helen's right, we've made these connections at past meetings, but we felt as well that the actual raising awareness between the professionals and undiagnosed families was very important.
How difficult has it been sort of trying to raise awareness within the healthcare professionals? What sort of level of knowledge and education have you come across?
Helen, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so it does depend really, because you need to be sort of in a tertiary centre really. So usually you wouldn't get anybody being diagnosed by a GP or in general paediatrics, for example. We all ended up, you know, with a neurologist. And my story's slightly different than others in that I'm a paediatric nurse myself. My background is neurosciences. We were under a neurologist that I actually worked with for the majority of his care, William's care as a baby. But it was actually one of the neurologists in that team that I was working alongside as a research nurse, and it was her that mentioned Glut1 deficiency. So we were under expert care, but even some of the neurologists within a department weren't aware of Glut1 deficiency and weren't aware of the signs. So it was pure luck that, and I always say I was in a very privileged position to have access to somebody that knew about it, but that is not the usual way of things at all.
It's not, is it? And this
No.
is something that I've seen, because I'm a nurse and I have a rare disease, ultra rare disease, and I consider myself to be extremely lucky that I have that knowledge of the internal systems to be able to push myself through the diagnostic journey. That said, I didn't get a diagnosis until I was 49 and a half, but it's that whole having that knowledge to be able to push yourself through the system makes an enormous difference, and the vast majority of patients don't have that, and therefore are completely on their own, and therefore largely undiagnosed in the ultra rares. So what made you, Trudy, what made you say, okay, well, we're a group of mums together. What made you say, okay, well, we're going to become a charity?
Well, as I said, because I'm already volunteering for the Glut1 Deficiency Foundation in the States, my title sort of covers me into Europe as well. So I've been the outreach for Europe. So within that remit, it was so clear that we needed a base in the UK. It was really, really important that we were able to raise awareness in the UK. So yeah, it was hard, as Helen said. The initially, just, you know, when you're all very busy mums with our own heavy load and commitment, but we're all very, very passionate as well. I'm very passionate about extending what we can, where we can, and that has its challenges. It does have its challenges, but we finally got there 12 months ago, and so we're just doing this stage by stage. We've done some webinars, we've attended the BPNA conference, and we took part in a European Glut1 deficiency conference. So we're just making our stamp where we can.
That's fantastic. And I really admire your tenacity. How long did it take you to become a charity?
We were very fortunate that we had another lady that isn't part of us as a trustee, but she's a mum and very, very involved, and she's actually did all the financial and the legal aspects for us.
Wow.
Yes, so we were very, very fortunate in that respect. So we sort of handed it over to a company to know that it was being done correctly.
Yes.
This again was out of our remit. You know, we're mums and we've got our own strength.
What do we know? Absolutely.
Exactly.
You only know what you know.
Yeah, exactly. So we were very fortunate in that regard that we were able to just literally hand the legal aspect over. We've all got different strengths in different areas to actually run the charity on a day-to-day basis. I've had a little bit more experience when it comes to obviously the Glut1 side of already volunteering, but our team are phenomenal. We've got our strengths. You know, we're only 5 mums, but at the end of the day, we've all got our strengths. So,
and do you still have the same group of people, the same mums that you started with?
Yes.
That's fantastic. What's been the key to maintaining that central group, do you think?
I think it is driven by the passion for our children, foremost. We are doing this on behalf of them, in honour of them. It's our way of paying back something to show that we can't find a cure yet, but we're going to look. We're not going to stop looking. So again, that's a huge driver. Yeah, that's what I would say. I don't know about Helen.
Yeah, the same really, and just really to be a point of contact and to help the community. You know, it is a rare disease, and there isn't a huge amount of us, but you know, we want to bring everybody together and know that they can come to us as a point of contact and for some information and help. And yeah, so that's what drives us, really.
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. How would you say the charity is improving care for Glut1 deficiency patients? Either of you.
Well, I would say obviously by raising awareness through our key aims at the moment. We've got a couple of projects that we're really working hard on, and that is targeting the undiagnosed.
Right.
There are a few key specific symptoms to Glut1 deficiency patients that are just very recognised within our own specific condition. So, but if we can raise awareness of these symptoms, we're hoping that, again, through maybe medical students, I'm in contact with we're all in contact with different organisations that, again, will help us. Genetic Alliance, all these larger organisations, by collaborating with them, we hope it will raise awareness of us. Our medical advisory board are amazing, so they've been really pointing us in the directions who we should be linking in with. So again, collaboration is key, really.
So Helen, tell me about your medical advisory board, if you're the right person to
yeah, absolutely.
And what does it comprise of, and how did you go about setting that up? So
we because there are experts sort of worldwide,
yes,
we knew that we wanted one of them in particular, who Professor Klepper, who we've all seen speak at conferences, and he really is one of the leading experts, I'd say, and there are a few of them, but he's one of the leading experts in Glut1 deficiency, and we were very honoured that he agreed to join our medical advisory board. We have also Professor Helen Cross. Again, she agreed to be part of the medical advisory board. She works out of Great Ormond Street. We have two dietitians,
right,
two ketogenic dietitians.
Fantastic.
One of them is I call her my dietitian. She's my dietitian. She's my family's dietitian, but she's quite amazing, and she's got links into their ketogenic dietitians research network. We've got Professor Samir Zaberi up in Scotland, and these are all experts in Glut1 deficiency. So
you've got some key opinion leaders there.
Yeah, absolutely.
How easy was it to identify them and then to bully them into coming on board?
Well, there wasn't really any bullying needed, to be honest. They all said yes straight away. So we were all astounded. But they're just, they're busy people. A lot of them are already on medical advisory boards for other, charities. So we just thought, well, we can always ask the question. So we did. So we wrote to them, and we got yeses straight away. I probably missed out a couple of other MAB members, I think, Judy, haven't I? But
we've also got Kathleen Gorman.
Yes.
She's out of Ireland, and we've also got Dr. Brunkless. So that's all in all, we've got sort of all corners of the UK we're trying to cover with a member of obviously on our medical advisory board. So
how do you use them? How do you utilise that board?
We've only had one meeting so far. We intend to have 2 to 3 each year. Obviously, they're extremely busy. So, but we had an over an hour similar meeting to this, all doing it by Zoom, or has to be done.
The new normal.
Yeah, exactly. So we had, and again, they gave us great guidance. They asked us what our plans were, what did we intend to do. They've really noticed, actually picked out some of the important key aspects that are going to be important for our own patients, and that's going to be more on the lines of maybe general care. How do our kids manage in school? So could we provide a leaflet for them in school? We've also got in the pipeline at the moment, we've got a specific leaflet for our patients with learning difficulties. So this has been officially done by Easy Reader, which again we've worked alongside them so that we can get this leaflet correct. It needs to be correct for obviously our learning difficulties community. We've also done just a general leaflet as well. So we've got projects that we're ongoing with, as well as continually raising awareness, continually trying to support our families. But our medical advisory board are there to guide us on how we can do these things. So that's how we sort of work, really. And they're very, very open. They're great. We've got a great relationship with them all.
That's fantastic, and just an absolutely cracking idea. RDNN don't as yet have an advisory board, and this is something that I am really interested in. Our overall passion is care coordination, and one of the big things for me, one of the big things for RDNN as a whole, is that you can have rare disease nurses or genetic counsellors or other people who are focused on care coordination rather than the disease specifics. Because I don't know about you, but I have found as a rare disease patient and as a healthcare provider that the majority of what a rare disease patient and family has to deal with is pretty generic and not actually related to the very specific disease. So we're all looking for improved ways of navigating the healthcare system. We're all looking for improved ways of getting social support. I'm no longer at school, but to be able to navigate the educational system and things like that. And how does your work, do you feel, have a bearing on care coordination in general in rare disease?
Helen, do you want to take it?
Yeah, so because we're only a year in, really, and we've had some big projects.
Done so much in a year.
Oh God, I know we've done. We haven't quite got to that care coordination part of it yet. However, as parents, and certainly across, I mean, obviously with social media and stuff, there are things like Facebook forums, there are, people converse amongst each other. Lots of questions get asked, especially around things like schooling or care and things. And lots of, messages go to and fro, not always the right kind of information. And both myself and Trudy have both spoken to parents over the years, way before we had the charity in place, just people getting in touch with us and sort of just really asking peer-to-peer support, really. And it's just so important to I think care coordination is a big thing that's missing, really. I remember having a phone call with a newly diagnosed mum. This was about 3 years ago, and she didn't know how to get speech and language for her child. And I said, do you have a community paediatrician? And she said, what's one of those?
Yeah, absolutely.
So really kind of, I mean, part of why I wanted to be part of this is because I've got so much knowledge in my own head about, I mean, I knew my son needed what he needed. I'm his care coordinator.
But it's about being able to take patients back to the basics, isn't it?
Yes.
Care coordination is about going back to the basics to be able to help them through that journey.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting. I think by signposting through our website, we can provide a level of professional information through that by signposting through resources. That linking up to other organizations that are already in place. So these are very supportive and providing care by us providing professional information. And I would imagine that the RDNN are looking to those ways as well, because if we can partner, we can then share our resources. You can share hours, hold hours, send if you come across a Glut1 patient, for instance.
Absolutely.
You then signpost them to us. So,
exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly how we would like to work with you. And I, like you, passionately believe that you best improve care for patients by improving their healthcare knowledge, by improving the knowledge and education of the healthcare professionals who are meeting our patients, meeting our patients and families, and that can only make a huge difference. Ladies, I'm going to bring us to a halt now. It has been such an absolute joy talking to you both. Thank you very, very much indeed. We will, as we've said, we'll be posting links on both our websites. You'll be able to see this interview. You'll be able to hear it as often as you want on both our websites. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
I lost you. I'm sorry. That was absolutely fantastic. You are stars.